Welcome back to the Ryoko Show. I'm so happy you're here, especially today, as we dive into something that's so close to my heart, self-love. If you are tuning in for the first time, I'm Ryoko, and welcome. So, I know that tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and a day we typically associate with romantic love, flowers, and sweet gestures. But what if this Valentine Day we take a moment to reflect on the most important relationship of all? That is the one you have with yourself. Self love is the foundation for every other relationship in our lives, and it's the root from which everything else grows. And when we cultivate a loving relationship with ourselves, we create a space for deeper, healthier, and connections with others. So, in today's episode, I'm going to talk about what self love really is and why it's essential not only for our well being, but also for the way we show up in our relationships. It's not just about taking bubble bath or treating ourselves, though those things are lovely. Self love is much deeper than that. It's about accepting our flaws, setting boundaries, and treating ourselves with kindness and respect. Let's dive in and explore why self love is the foundation of all other relationships. So, what exactly is self love? It's a word we hear often, but I think we sometimes forget just how transformative it can be. Self love is about recognizing your own worth and treating yourself with the same kindness and respect that you would offer to somebody you love deeply. It's not about perfection or trying to be someone else. It's about accepting yourself just as you are, flaws and all. Self love isn't just one time thing, it's an ongoing practice. Every day we have the opportunities to choose ourselves and to honor our needs and show up for ourselves in ways that nurture our hearts and minds. Now, let's take a moment to think about this. How do you treat yourself on a daily basis? Are you kind to yourself? Do you show yourself patience and compassion? Or do you find yourself being critical or judgmental of your own mistakes and imperfections? I know it's easy to be hard on ourselves. We all have moments where we feel less than others or struggle with self doubt. But the truth is, you are worthy of love, respect, just the way you are. You don't have to earn it, you don't have to change, and you certainly don't have to be perfect to be deserving of your own love. One of the core aspects of self love is accepting our flaws. We live in a world that often celebrates perfection, but the truth is, no one is perfect, and we all have areas in our lives where we are still growing, learning, and evolving, and that's perfectly okay. And actually, those imperfections are what makes us human, and they help us connect with others and they teach us valuable lessons. When we can accept ourselves, imperfections and all, we free ourselves from the burden of constantly trying to be perfect or trying to be someone else, and instead embrace the beautiful, unique person that we are. Remember, self love isn't about being flawless, it's about loving ourselves even though we have those flaws. When we do this, we open ourselves up to real, authentic connections with others. We stop seeking approval from the outside because we already know we are enough. And boundaries are the invisible lines we set in our lives that protect our energy, time, and well being. Setting boundaries is a way of saying, I respect myself enough to know that what I need and what I don't need. It's about recognizing that you have the right to say no to things that drain you, overwhelm you, or make you feel disrespected. Setting boundaries can be difficult, especially if you are someone who tends to put others' needs first. But when you don't set boundaries, we risk losing ourselves in the process. We might say yes to the things that don't align with our values or give away our time and energy to things that leave us feeling empty. Self-love means being strong enough to say no when necessary and to prioritize your own well-being. It's about creating space for the things that bring you joy, fulfillment, and peace. And sometimes that means saying no to things or people that don't align with your highest good. Self-love is about treating yourself with kindness. How often do you say kind things to yourself? Do you celebrate your success, big or small? Or do you brush them off and move straight to the next thing as if nothing was achieved? I used to do that. Self-love means acknowledging your efforts, honoring your journey. It means speaking to yourself the way you would speak to a friend, encouraging and compassionate and supportive. When we practice self-compassion, we create an internal environment where we can grow, learn, and thrive. When we are kind to ourselves, we give ourselves the grace to make mistakes, to stumble, and try again. We stop beating ourselves up for being human, and instead we focus on what we can learn from every experience. So why is self-love so important, especially on a day like Valentine's Day? Well, when we love ourselves, we show up for others in a deeper and more authentic way. We stop seeking love from external sources because we already have it within us. We stop looking for validation, and instead we start living from a place of inner confidence and peace. When we love ourselves, we set the tone for the relationships around us. We teach others how to treat us by how we treat ourselves. If we honor our needs, set clear boundaries, and speak kindly to ourselves, we attract people who will do the same. But here's the thing. You don't have to wait for a special occasion like Valentine's Day to practice self-love. Every day is an opportunity to show yourself love. Whether it's taking a few moments to breathe, setting a boundary, or simply reminding yourself that you are already enough. Each small act of self-love adds up. And as we wrap up today's episode, I want to leave you with the simple ways to show yourself some love this Valentine's Day and every day. First, practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to a friend who needs support. 2. Set healthy boundaries. Honor your time and energy. Say no when it's necessary and create space for what truly matters to you. 3. Celebrate your progress. Take a moment to acknowledge how far you've come, even if it's just one small step at a time. 4. Give yourself permission to rest. Self-love is about listening to your body and giving yourself the care and rest you need. And 5. Embrace your imperfections. Recognize that you don't have to be perfect to be worthy of love. You are already enough just the way you are. And as we approach Valentine's Day, I encourage you to take a moment and reflect on the love you have for yourself. And how will you show yourself the love today? And how can you nurture your relationship with yourself and make it even stronger? You deserve to be loved, respected, and cared for, starting with you. So that's all for today, and thank you so much for being there. I hope this episode inspired you to show yourself the love you truly deserve. And if you enjoyed this episode, I'd love you to share it with your friends and family. And feel free to reach out to me on social media. And if you're ready to go deeper on this journey, go to the show notes and grab a free guide to build your inner world foundation to change your life. Wishing you a beautiful, lovely Valentine's Day, and I'll talk to you next time on The Ryoko Show. Keep shining!